Okay. I just discovered a book, or was reminded of this book by Master Ni Hua-ching, because I was responding to somebody's comment. The book is on the Universal Mother as the secret of Taoism, um, Mother of the Yellow Altar. Let's see. It's on archive, so you can read it for free. I posted the link. The Mystical Universal Mother, Teachings of the Mother of the Yellow Altar. So, yeah, I had mentioned Master Ni Hua-ching in my last video, and it just made me wonder: is he still alive? He'd be 100 years old this year, but I know he stopped doing any kind of public teaching. Probably, I don't know, 20 years ago or something. And I was reading his books, you know, 25 years ago, pretty early on when I discovered his books. And um they're pretty interesting. I mean, I got the impression he was more like a herbalist and than anything else. I mean, he practiced meditation and all that. So I just I mean, he wasn't like he didn't wasn't like the same as Lin. Let's see. I appreciate my mother's 12 points, which are consistent with original Taoism. The receptive feminine energy was the hexagram that led the other 63 hexagrams in the Book of Changes. So, from my experience from in the actual training of the alchemy, I still consider it patriarchal because you have to build up the yang qi and the yang shen in order to return back to the wan qi and wan shen. But as I just posted a academia paper that was actually my blog post on how the wan qi is actually the green female dragon that starts out as the yin qi of the liver. So when you are transforming that yin qi into the wan qi via the yang qi and the yang shen. So in a sense, the yang qi and the yang shen are eventually like not held on to because the wan qi is impersonal. And I was rereading Trinity Lin's latest book on the Enlightenment Promise, and he emphasizes in there how you have no control, and that it's difficult to like give up this sense of control. Now, okay, Master Niwan Ching says lack of control does not reflect a correct way of living or conducting energy. Such individuals need to remember that to cultivate Tao, they do not need a special religious form. If they need to use one, that is okay too, but it's not necessary. If you use your mind to govern your energy calmly, peacefully, and orderly, then you're cultivating Tao. So this is kind of Chenny Lin's point too. At the end of the book, he's talking about the unknown ignorance and how he trained to stop having unknown ignorance. And basically, what that means is he's like constantly using his Wan Shen as spirit to always empty it out into the Wan Qi. Like he's doing that, all the time for whatever he's perceiving. And by doing that, he's able to maintain the Hua-ching energy for healing other people. Um, so it's kind of a paradox. Like Ramana Maharshi described the same paradox where he was using the what do they call it? The three gunas. The purified guna is the mind as yana, and so he's using yana to go beyond the mind to the fourth state, which is the turiya. And so he admits that you have to use your spirit as yana to then go beyond the light to the turiya. So, that's why I think it's still, even though you're recognizing the universal mother, what the radical anthropologists say is that the males realized it's female energy, but the males had to like steal it in order to achieve this spiritual training, and that biologically it's originally female. So it's kind of a paradox because for a male to become a spiritual master, they have to store up their energy. Like Chen Yulin, he told me, my energy will always be weak as long as I keep sending it back into other people. I have to store it up, and it's kind of when yeah. He's like, it's great that you have that ability to send energy out, but my energy will always be weak as long as I keep sending it out like that. So you have to train very specifically to store up the energy. And in that sense, it's very patriarchal. And then you're basically like worshiping the universal mother. For example, Saint Joseph de Cupertino, he worshiped the Holy Mother Mary. And whenever he would see her photo, then he would start levitating. So let's see. The mystical female is the spiritual transformation of the Big Dipper. She helped the emperor. So um, that would get you into like the North Star, and that connects with the third eye. And I think the North Star is actually considered like the back of your brain. I go into that in my training manual. That's the secret of Kriya Yoga, also. Um, let's see. I'm just kind of speed reading this book. So a lot of this is his sort of like biography about his mom. Um, so the word shrine in Taoism is Xuan, which means the mystical female. It's interesting. And let's see. No, he's just talking about his family background. Feminine nature is the best spiritual model for all people. To do. So he's going into like Chinese culture, Chinese history. Um, okay. Now let's see what else we got. I thought he'd get more into like the actual alchemy meditation. So he's getting more into like Chinese history. Um, there we go. In the immortal tradition, the passage is spiritual. Let's see. Mm, No, he's talking about Kuan Yin. Um, Okay. No, he's given like a story about someone training in Taoism, a woman, and plum flower. Her attitude was to help other people. Let's see. He's talking about when he learned English. Then he started to learn about Western. Kuan Yin in Buddhist scriptures was a man, but Chinese spiritual leaders changed him into a woman. Du- du- du. So, using the external to learn the internal. Um, okay, he's saying that they suffer an internal kind of pressure that comes from unnecessary desire, vanity, and ambition. So in qigong, you learn that the negative emotional energy is actually just extra energy that can be transformed into healing energy through the heart. So you have to sublimate it and then you purify it. And let's see. This is either a top down or a bottom up type of kundalini. This is what Gabriel Cousins, he talks about. There's two different types of kundalini, top down or bottom up. And Trini Lin said he does not practice the bottom up kundalini because you're taking in a low frequency of the desire, and then you have to transform it into a higher frequency in order to heal other people, and so you end up losing energy in the process because of that transformation from low to high frequency. So over time, you're using up your energy by doing that. So you're essentially transforming your Wan Qi into Yang Qi and then into Yin Qi. So you're doing the opposite of alchemy, which alchemy would be turning the Yin Qi into Yang Qi, then into Wan Qi. But either way, you are relying on the Wan Qi as the process for that tantric um, Kundalini. So the Kundalini is a catalyst that takes you back to the Wan Qi, and the Wan Qi is the universal mother. Okay, so he's given a lot of like fables and stories. That's what his books do. When he's talking about opera, somebody asked him about opera. Inner clarity. Okay, so avoid emotional disturbances. Attain good concentration. Stay calm. I was talking about the Yellow Emperor. No, he's talking about the Temple of the Yellow Altar, which was built during the Yuan dynasty. Okay, we're almost done. Self-delivery. Having a calm mind is the best nutrition you can give your children. When a child is a teenager, the most important discipline is to not engage in early sex and have no conflict and fight with other people. Yep. So obviously that's like gone by the wayside these days. I think I don't know, maybe people are getting better.